Hey guys, so this is a different style of video. If you saw the video earlier today, I already did some raids after the new update. But I wanted to make a separate standalone video just outlining some of the details that they changed in the game. I think it's one of the best ones that they've made in a while, probably since the backpacks. So I was talking about a second video that I've been working on. This isn't the one. I kind of just made this one spur of the moment after installing the update and trying out everything they added. I'll get you guys that other video that I've been working on in a few days. But let's get right into the update. So first of all, they added canyons. Now the game already has something kind of similar to this. You could find ravines around the world. However, they were pretty rare. But yeah, the one time I found one, got pretty excited, wanted to build in it. The canyon should be pretty good for like bunkers, especially on modded where you can get in and out of the base without actually having to have a door path. But overall, it feels like this update and all the things that they put in it totally benefit like modded gameplay and bunkers. Feels like it was tailor-made to just make bunkers a lot better. And then there's the Oasis they added. Apparently there's going to be a freshwater source in it, but don't think this one's really going to help make your base more secure, kind of more of a roleplay thing. Some people probably take the freshwater and incorporate it into some sort of farm base. I'm not going to be doing that this video though. Anybody build an Oasis base? I can only see this happening for people that are roleplaying. Next, they updated the cliffs and like especially the cliffs are on the edge of the map. So if you look on the map now, there's a lot more flat spaces. Seems like this should benefit clans when they're trying to slap down a massive clan base on a flat area. There's going to be a lot more flat areas around the map to do this now. Not to mention the cliffs also look pretty good. And then there's the Anvil. Now this one was actually in the game before. I don't think I made a base build tutorial for this, but there are still some cool things to do. It's not going to be as useful as back when they had it, when you couldn't ladder without building priv. So yeah, one time there were Anvil bases and you couldn't just ladder up all over them. So they were actually good back then. And then there's the God Rock. If you guys saw the earlier video, I actually rated one. I don't think it was built too well. They might not have been going full effort on it since it was a short wipe. They just had like an open core with turrets in it. Now this one I actually did make a tutorial for. I want to say it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I'll find it and show a couple clips from it here. You still love living in and raiding bases built in the God Rock almost as much as I like the old style of caves that you can make like extremely secure. I mean, the double cave does still hold up pretty well, as well as the God caves. So starting with that God Rock, you can see that made it even bigger than it used to be. Even though it was secure back then, I want to say now it's even more secure. So trying to max out the triangle foundations all throughout this thing, you can see the depth of this thing and how big your base can actually be underneath all these rocks. Obviously the advantage of this is they can't rock it top down or from any side. They have to go in one of the two openings. So if you place your loot room right and do the honeycombing efficiently, this will be insanely secure. Also with this update, they made it so you can build through the world a lot easier. Like building foundations, you can make it go into rocks and halfway under the terrain. It used to be impossible to get placements like these. I can already imagine a loot room over here in this little hideaway. You can actually put a couple vertical barrels. Now they're not as overpowered as the cave. Like in the cave you can put the barrel so that it's 90% sticking through the ceiling. No big deal, it's still going to be extremely secure. I found one of the most secure spots to put the center of the base is going to be over here where this TC is. And if you look at the pathway they'd have to take, first of all, they might mess it up a bit if they don't do it 100% correct. But I count 12 to 13 walls. And if that's all armored, you're talking like 96 to 104 C4. And that's if they do it 100% efficiently. They also have to guess the right spot that the TC is. Imagine if you put it somewhere random. Like that's not going to be findable in under 100 C4. So yeah, just picture this entire thing with armored honeycomb throughout. Not to mention on the top of the God Rock, it's actually far enough out of range of the TC down on the ground that you can have external TCs up top. And I imagine a good base builder might be able to do some sort of detaching TCs all throughout the bottom of the God Rock. But yeah, I'm not too experienced in building all those detachable TC clan bases because I play solo. Next, there's the Anvil base, and yeah, like I said, these things were a lot better when you weren't able to ladder without priv. Still pretty easy to ladder up, so I don't think these are going to be too advantageous, maybe for like an online. It used to be people would build like a tower going up to the entrance, kind of like a funnel, and you'd have to raid it through that to get onto the ladder pathway. But you could also put a couple of towers on each side of the anvil. Still pretty hard to fit a bunch of foundations on top of the anvil if you don't do it perfectly. Yeah, so this one's more just nostalgic to me. It doesn't have too much of a use to secure your base. Still looks cool though. Next, there's the canyons. I wasn't able to find a canyon base because the canyons were pretty mid on the server I was raiding on. With the changes that they added, you can basically place building blocks through the cliff to fill out the bottom part of it. And with tons of resources on modded, you could probably fill out like half the entire canyon if you wanted to make an insane base. If you put the central part of your base down on the bottom, then you could even add frames for stability. Get that whole first floor sealed off and then just start pancaking layers upon layers on top. If you got a big enough area and that canyon sealed off, it might even be tough to see like where the actual loot room's going to be. So I might have to drill down through a bunch of pancake layers on multiple spots of the thing just to find out where the loot is. Yeah, as long as you're not giving the stability away, making it less stable where the loot room is. I tried filling out the bottom of this one pretty good. This was only my first try though. You could definitely make it a lot better. Also, if you did squares, you could put ramps in it to kind of make it twice as expensive to drill straight down through. But I feel like it's a little bit easier to find where the loot room actually is going to be with squares. Still probably worth it though, just to make it even more costly. A single canyon can even have a bunch of different spots that are better to build in, some of them being more narrow with a smaller area for the initial base and easier to pancake more, and then some of them are really wide where you'd have to make the initial base pretty big and each pancake layer would be extremely expensive. Alright, that's all I got for you guys for this video. We're going to be back with some more raids at the usual time tomorrow, and I'll have that other video out pretty soon. It's about tugboats, by the way. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you tomorrow. Peace.